Welcome back. Today we're gonna be looking at some funny shit, some creepy shit, some entertaining shit, some smart shit. We're just about to look at a whole bunch of informational stuff that come from TikTok. Some good videos, so let's get into it. Creepy. Slightly creepy.
Yo, what the? What the? Bro.
What?
There's nobody in here. Yo!
He really stayed in there too long. No way. No way.
Majority of African Americans that lived here were brought over here.
No,
No.
that's not economically sound.
What do you mean by it's not economically sound?
So what I'm saying is, people were already here. Does it make sense to go all the way to this other continent to bring people on a boat when we know that half of your stock is gonna die? You wouldn't do that.
So how many people do you think were brought over from Africa on slave ships? Because that definitely happened.
I don't believe it.
What do you mean you don't believe it?
I don't believe that story. You think this whole land was empty? No, there were natives here.
Right.
But today we're taught that natives is some other people. No, natives are the melanated African being that has come here since the beginning of the Mali Empire. We're talking about 14th, 13th century. We had already come here from Africa.
Really?
Oh yeah, we had already come here. Maybe people were brought over as slaves, but I don't think that the black people in America came from Africa on slave ships. I believe the people that were here were slowly conquered. First, they got the East Coast, and then they started spreading out west little by little, conquering. And when you conquer a tribe, what do? You enslave them. They're POWs. Right?
Okay.
That's what you do.
But I'm still confused. There's a great history of slave ships being brought over from Africa.
History is his story.
Right.
What about my story? Is my story not valid?
But if you do 23andMe on from out that
23andMe?
well, that's
Either way, if you take black people here in America and you do their DNA sample and it point back to Africa, what does that say? It says black people in America are Africans. Now, the argument is, were we brought here or were we already here? Did we bring ourselves here or did the white man bring us here? You see, when you say the white man brought us here, what you're doing is you're removing our ability to transport ourselves. You're saying, oh, we didn't know anything about boats. That's what you're trying to tell me. You're trying to tell me that we didn't know that there was a landmass here. Go look at the primary source. You got here, we met black people. When you got the Caribbean, we met black people. You think the Caribbean is right next to America and they weren't in America?
Believe it or not, just track the history back. Do your own research. Look at their story, what they say. Look at the next person's story. Look at all stories and form your story.
Look at the Buddha's hair. No Chinese person's hair looked like that. The Buddha has knotty hair. Every time you see the Buddha, his hair is knotted. Just a thought. Look at the Buddha's hair.
Me personally, every time I done seen him, I always thought that, naps, bro. You can't.
Watchtower. I have Watchtower documents heavily
Just watch
redacted by
Snowfall.
the
You'll learn this
agency.
whole story
I
about
was
this.
police narcotics detective that the agency has dealt drugs throughout this country for a long time. Director Deutsch, I will refer you to 3 specific agency operations known as Amadeus, Pegasus, and Watchtower. I have Watchtower documents heavily redacted by the agency I was personally exposed to CIA operations and recruited by CIA personnel who attempted to recruit me in the late 70s to become involved in protecting agency drug operations in this country. I have been trying to get this out for 18 years, and I have the evidence.
You should immediately bring that information to the Los Angeles Police Department.
I did bring this information out 18 years ago, and I got shot at and forced out of LAPD because of it.
I'm not surprised. In this next video, the man with the blue shirt, I didn't see him a lot, and I feel like his word is fairly credible, so you can kind of take what he hear and like, maybe not everything, but he know and he's involved, so you know, just check this out.
You never found out what any of these breaches really were.
Yeah,
So
they did have made a awesome hybrid bear type osseo integrated being.
I don't know really what that means.
Well, it
Could you
just
be more
means
specific?
they made a
bear type.
They made a hybrid animal
Okay.
of some sort that resembled a giant grizzly bear.
Okay.
But
it
it
was
had
human-like?
metal. But it had metal. Yeah. But it had like metal talons made of some amazing. You know, it was osseo integrated into his bone structure. That means
Wow.
the titanium and tissue were together, or whatever metal. I don't know what the metal is. I'm hypothetically just hypothesizing.
Okay.
All I know is once it got out, they had a special truck to get this thing. I mean, it got to the surface.
Wow.
It's going across the desert.
Really?
Yeah, very fast. So they had to blow this thing up, and it was so indestructible that they only injured it and then was able to put it into this special truck, and the truck steel was 8 inches thick, the cargo container.
Good Lord.
And the marks in it were 4 inches deep
Wow.
from that thing trying to, whatever, it was probably trying to get after they knocked it out or whatever. So, you know, he was there on that, and he saw the marks in the truck.
Wow.
As well.
That's crazy.
And, you know, I consider him a very honest person. And plus, it was all over. Everybody knew about it. Everyone knew this was bad. And that was from a different genealogy department on.
Hey, I'm not surprised, man. You go in these forbidden spots of the world, Antarctica, you gonna see some shit.
Huh? Goodbye. But why are you running away?
Because you told me to treat my room.
Because I told you to clean your room?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Hey,
Bye.
them boots hard.
I
Them
love
boots
you.
hard.
Okay, baby.
That's sweet.
Let me turn the light on for you. Okay, see you.
That's sweet. She thought she was a cat. She thought she was a cat, honey. Look at that again.
Oh, God damn it!
Hell nah. Just follow me. We're going somewhere with this. Believe me. check it out. I'm not really no movie goer, but you know, it looked pretty interesting. So just listen.
To see what type you are and what. So before you move forward, you have to pull your human design chart, and it utilizes your birth date, your birth time, and your birth location. Once you pull your chart, you will be able to see what type you are and what strategy you have. And these are the 4 potential outcomes that somebody can have. Now, each type is going to have a different auric field. For example, manifestors have an aura that pushes things out. Generators have an aura that pull things in. Notice how they are exactly opposite. And then we have projectors whose auras are focused and they absorb the energy that they are focusing on. And reflectors are here to sample the energy in their environment. So your aura is showing you how energy is coming in and out of your auric field. For example, generators have an open aura, which means that things are meant to easily enter into the aura of a generator or a manifesting generator. Because when something does enter into your aura, you envelop it. Now, this is where strategy comes into play. Because when we talk about strategy in human design, strategy is how you are going to enter into opportunity. Strategy is this framework that you can utilize in your physical environment that allows you to navigate this plane with just a little bit more ease. But it's really up to you to experiment with your strategy so that you can see how it works, so that you can see the magic when it unfolds. And each type is going to have a different strategy. For example, manifestors are here to inform. Notice,
I know it's a lot. And I don't know if you know, if this ain't your cup, grab a new cup, skip the video. But, you know, to me, personally, this is some good information. So let's get
that their aura is closed and they're meant to push things out. Things are not meant to easily come into the aura of a manifestor, which is why they need to inform on the direction that they are going in because their aura is closed. People cannot easily read manifestors and they need to be informed on what they're doing next because manifestors can go in any direction at any time. Generators and manifesting generators are here to respond to life. That response that we're talking about is happening in your sacral center. When a generator responds, there is something happening in their gut. A few things can happen. There can be like a grunt where it's like, or There can even be a physical vibration that happens in your lower abdomen that either opens up and like moves towards something and lets you know that you have energy for this thing, or your stomach can contract and maybe your body backs away. So there are different ways for you to understand what a response is, but it is really up to you to experiment so that you can see which one's coming through for you. Now, projector strategies, they are here to wait for an invitation. This means that before you give your energy to any person, you are waiting for recognition. You are waiting for somebody to see you for a specific skill set and then invite that energy in. And then once you're invited in, it's up to you to discern whether this invitation is right for you or not. Because when you take on an invitation, remember, you are absorbing the other person's energy. You are focusing on the G center of another person. So there's a lot happening once you take in an invitation, but you want to enter into opportunity by utilizing, am I waiting for an invitation or am I trying to kind of like create or spark an invitation? Because you cannot manipulate an invitation as a projector. And then we go to reflectors. Reflectors have an aura that is sampling, meaning they do have this protective mechanism that isn't just absorbing everything. Instead, it's taking a little bit here and here, which means that reflectors do take time in order to come to a solid conclusion, which is why their strategy is to wait for a full lunar cycle to pass, because reflectors are extremely attuned to the moon. And so the more time that they have to reflect and to sample and to observe, the more clarity they are going to have in their next step. This was a lot of information to give, but hopefully you found this helpful. If you were able to resonate, if this made just a little bit more sense to you, please let me know in the comment section.
The more you know, right?
Point has no dimensions. There's no height, width, depth, so it has 0 dimensions. A line has 1 dimension, length. Okay? A square has 2 dimensions, so the height and width. A cube has 3 dimensions, height, width, depth. So in other words, the dimensions of your sides are going up. Your line is bound by 0-dimensional points. Your square is bound by 1-dimensional sides. The cube is bound by 2-dimensional squares. So we're going up 2, 4, 6. And each side is 1 dimension less. 4-dimensional cube has 8 sides. So when you get to 4 dimensions, the sides are 3-dimensional surfaces. And you can take this all the way up. Picture a volume bounded by 3-dimensional cubes. What does it even mean?
Inside some information, man. Let's dig a little deeper. It's a beautiful view. You see that plane curving at the top. Surprise once again. No surprise. Let's keep going.
The only time I ever saw them, which was most of the time, the scientists were studying something they called sky ice. This stuff was totally different. We were never allowed to go into the laboratory areas of the station because the labs had to be kept super clean, and they said it would mess up their work if they risked letting too many people in the lab. But one time, one of the researchers that I was friends with showed me a piece of sky ice. You couldn't touch the stuff with your bare hands because it was so cold. And it wasn't clear or white.
Let's get into it.
And then they shared a verse right here where it says, "And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it." And then we continue off where it says it would always vaporize into air and you'd have nothing left when you got back to the U.S., he said. Russian scientists had discovered the same problem when they tried to take the ice back to Russia. So that was why they all had research stations in Antarctica.
Ice can only stay in Antarctica, but it's part of the firmament and it evaporates. So it's changing form. It's changing state of matter. All right. Look at this next one. It's pretty interesting. Just watch.
Plasmas up to 1 kilometer in size and behaving similarly to multicellular organisms have been filmed on 10 separate NASA space shuttle missions over 200 miles above Earth within the thermosphere. Key points from those sentences. Plasma, this is what it is right here. Jump on Google because there's a hell of a lot more to this field. And these are examples of plasma. And that's where the thermosphere sits right there. This is where stuff gets interesting. These self-illuminated plasmas are attracted to and may feed on electromagnetic radiation. They have different morphologies: cone, cloud, donut, spherical, cylindrical, and have been filmed flying towards and descending from the thermosphere into thunderstorms, congregating by the hundreds and interacting with satellites, generating electromagnetic activity, approaching the space shuttles. Computerized analysis of the flight path trajectories documents these plasmas travel at different velocities from different directions and change their angle of trajectory, making 45-degree, 90-degree, and 180-degree shifts and follow each other. Sounds like something we've heard about in the past. They've been filmed accelerating, slowing down, stopping, congregating, and wait for it, engaging in, quote, hunter-predatory behavior, and intersecting plasmas, leaving a plasma dust trail in their wake. Similar lifelike behaviors have been demonstrated by plasmas created experimentally. Plasmas, quote, may have been photographed in the 1940s by World War II pilots, identified as Foo Fighters, repeatedly observed and filmed by astronauts and military pilots, and classified as unidentified aerial anomalous phenomenon. Plasmas are not biological, but may represent a form of pre-life that via the incorporation of elements common in space could result in the synthesis of RNA. Plasmas constitute a fourth state of matter, are attracted to electromagnetic activity, and when observed in the lower atmosphere likely account for many of the UAP sightings over the century.
All right. Just follow me. Because that's deep. That's deep. Pretty much he's saying it's a conscious cloud that's the fourth state of matter, higher than gas or more loose than gas, because you know as the denser it go, gas, liquid, solid. So pretty much you telling me it's one on top of gas, which is plasma, and is conscious, hunter predatorial. What I feel like maybe that's the collective consciousness that people sometimes tap into, or it could be, this is another theory, like when you die, what if your essence and your energy join that, and it's just a cloud of consciousness, and everybody who ever lived is up there in that collective. Who knows?
I'ma slow it down just to show y'all. But as you can see there's like a man dancing. There's a
Plasma. We didn't seen this video, but to explain, go back to that man dancing. That was crazy, bro.
Quick thought. Did you know that the entire universe, the entire universe is made up of plasma, 99% plasma, right? Plasma is pure electric energy, right? Pure energy, right? That's all it is. You, 55% plasma. The blood that's in our body, half of the blood, 55% of that is plasma. You have electricity running through your body. Pure energy. Did you know that the plasma creates all matter? You know what matter is? The houses, the cars, the buildings, all the stuff that you participate. Even you is matter. That means everything was created with plasma and energy. That means every thought you have is a creative thought that you can create matter with. Do you understand? You are the universe. You create as you want. There's nothing to be mad or sad about. You are the universe. Go create.
Said it. There it is. We spilled the beans. Those are your thoughts. Your thoughts, one thought, let's take one photon. One thought is called an electromagnetic algorithm that stretches out into a photon out of your consciousness. Okay, so now it's a literal something now. Now that you know, you got to treat it and respect it now, because it's recorded forever in the water. Right now, one little photon manipulates all the, thank you so much for that, thank you. One photon manipulates the plasma, zinc, iron, potassium.
So you telling me our thoughts become a part of us, and not only that, it become a part of the cloud. So my question would be like, how many clouds is it? And like, you got different factions of clouds, and I wonder if like these different plasma things, if these are the shits that's like fighting. But I don't know. I'm about to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all. Come back next time. Come back.